Everybody, welcome back to another Q&A with Dr. J. Dr. J. Jun of My Happy Genes is really cool, and she has answers to all of your questions.
I don't know about
With
that.
maybe not all of them,
What
but
is the meaning of life?
oh
I
yeah,
don't
forget that one. If
know.
Brian couldn't figure that out, then nobody will. Okay, so today we're talking about metabolism, whether you have a good one or a bad one, a fast one or a slow one, right? Does it have anything to do with your genes? So first of all, can you just tell us about slow and fast, and then we'll talk about the genes?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a happy medium there.
Okay,
Like not too fast and not too slow. I want to take you into the biochemical pathways if you're okay with that.
sure.
Okay. And so over here on the left-hand side, you can see my cursor, I think.
Yep.
I'll blow it up just a wee bit here. And just FYI, Gary Brecka has been using my chart for his own enjoyment. Not super happy about that. Oh, it's slow. Over here, this is the citric acid cycle and the electron transport chain. And this is where we turn our food essentially into energy. So this pathway, if you look at glucose up here and insulin in the body when we take in food, either through fatty acids, proteins, or glucose, they all come down into and they make acetyl-CoA. So if you follow the arrows down this way, acetyl-CoA goes into the citric acid cycle. It's like a roundabout. And then comes down here, goes through the electron transport chain and makes energy out of our food. And so our basic unit of energy is ATP. But if everywhere you see a purple or a pink balloon along the way, those are areas where you could have a genetic variant that will slow down the process. So, to your point, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Are there cases where having a slow metabolism is a good thing? And yes, during times of starvation, those people that have a slower metabolism will be able to survive longer because they can keep from having too fast a metabolism and getting rid of energy. But in today's world, there's hardly, at
Mhm.
least in our country, there's no shortage of food and calories. And so having genetic variants along these pathways, whether it's in that CS gene or the N-doofus or the SLC22A, any of these down here, will slow down your metabolism. And they are designed to do that. And it can be a problem. If you're getting too many calories, that whole pathway is going to back up and glucose is going to stay in your bloodstream too long. The insulin receptors that are on every cell, glucose attaches to the insulin receptors, they become resistant. And so you can't get the glucose in there anymore. Glucose goes up in the bloodstream and you start heading toward diabetes. So it is a risk. Some of these genetic variants, especially through the citric acid cycle and then down into the electron transport chain. If we're not able to do that efficiently, then your metabolism is going to be slow. Can that be also acquired? Yes, very much. And one of the ways that happens is in the electron transport chain. And so this is where the environment really hits the rubber hits the road when it comes to the environment causing this sluggish metabolism. And that's why as we age, we tend to put weight on. We look at kids that are running around and they have no body fat and they have all this energy. And we probably did too as kids, but then as we age, more and more damage happens at the mitochondrial level. And this is in the electron transport chain. And you can see here the things that can damage this, like drugs, insecticides, antibiotics, fluoride, chlorine, electromagnetic fields, radiation, heavy metals, and antibiotics can all damage this last piece of the energy production pathway and slow the metabolism down over time. And so let's say somebody takes antibiotics for an infection, they're actually killing mitochondria because mitochondria have an origin of bacteria. Like many eons ago, that's where the mitochondria came from. And they're the little cells inside, or they're the little organelles inside our cells that turn food into energy. So it can definitely damage your metabolism. So this is one of the reasons why we talk about it's not all genetics. Sometimes it's your diet or your lifestyle or your exposures that have done the job of damaging the mitochondria and shutting down your metabolism. So this is why we talk about not getting EMFs too much, exposure too much, or radiation or heavy metals or antibiotics. When you take an antibiotic, you've got to think about refurbishing or resupplying,
Replenishing.
Thank you. There's the word replenishing your mitochondria with certain nutrients. And they can vary. The nutrients can vary. It can be, you can see CoQ10 here. It could be niacin. It could be riboflavin. It could be molybdenum. It could be CoQ10. So we say CoQ10. So there are a bunch of different nutrients that can actually rebuild the mitochondria after you've had this kind of damage. The other thing that really damages this heavily is chemotherapy.
That makes
So,
sense.
yeah, and one of the biggest risks of cancer is mitochondrial damage. So you can see that the people that get cancer, they do chemotherapy, they've just damaged their mitochondria, and the cancer is going to come back more than likely unless they do something to repair their mitochondria.
I just want to mention one of the things that is also damaging that you said was metformin.
Yeah,
And metformin is not only looked at as a possible longevity doll, baby doll,
yeah,
but it's also given frequently for people with diabetes. And I
yeah,
was looking at I don't know whether I was on Reddit or something, a metformin subreddit, and a lot of people wrote in and said I had to get off it. I had no energy after 6 months. My doctor told me I'd be fine. I had to stick with it. People were like, my liver closed down. I wasn't pooping. I
yeah,
was so sick. I hated it. But until I went to that, I had never heard that those were side effects of metformin because it's so well touted in the
yeah.
longevity space.
I know, yeah, and people are taking it for that, thinking that's a good thing. But there's a study here in the PubMed Central National Library of Medicine about metformin. We show that metformin decreases mitochondrial respiration.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not good.
Mm.
So yes, and then if you look at the list of medications that can cause damage to mitochondria, it's pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, the
include.
cholesterol. I was just writing an article on women and cholesterol and statins, and I was reminded about all of the, if you read there, as with everything, there's two sides to the science. People will find their science to prove their point, and I will find science that proves my point.
Yeah.
But even within the most Western medicine-oriented sites like NIH and Johns Hopkins, they were saying that it's definitely statins have a low energy as one of the side effects in many people, over 30%. That's a lot. It may not sound like a lot, but if you were one of the 3 out of 10, it would
Yeah,
feel like a lot to you.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we now know that it might be good to have a slow metabolism. We probably all wish we had a fast metabolism, but either way, our metabolism is what it is in relationship to the genes that we've been given, and lifestyle plays a huge factor in how that plays out.
Yes, and if you've been following the series at all, you understand that just because you have some of those genes in these pathways doesn't mean we can't make up for it. And
Yeah,
we can get them moving faster so that we increase your metabolism. And it's a wonderful thing. Again,
it is
especially as
indeed.
we age and we start to get tired and gain weight and want to sit in front of the TV and crave. That's the other thing. This will cause especially sugar cravings, because you don't have any energy at the cellular level. There's no gas
Hmm.
in the tank, so it perpetuates itself.
Yeah.
I'm too tired to exercise, and I'm craving sugar, so you start eating sugar and you gain weight, and then you're more tired to exercise and you gain more. It's just a vicious cycle. So if you think of sugar cravings as a symptom, not a cause, then if you're craving sugar because of these slowdowns in these pathways and sluggish metabolism, you probably have damage down there, or you have genetic variants in those pathways that you can optimize and get. And when you no longer think sugar is an interesting thing, you got there. Your metabolism
Hmm.
is revved up and you've got fuel in the tank. So it can happen.
Yeah, and cravings are physiologic. They're not a moral failing. Right? Like
Exactly.
I'm craving candy. I had to have a candy bar. Oh no, I'm a bad person. Nah,
Yes.
not really. They're just very
Oh,
hard to banish by willpower alone.
very much. And they're telling you something. Your body's starving to death. Your
Hmm,
cells are starving. So
interesting. Never
yeah,
thought about it that way. It's the little cell guys that are starving, even
that's
if we're
right.
not hungry. Oh, I
Yeah.
feel worse for them than the agouti mouse.
I know, right? That's funny.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you haven't been to myhappygenes.com, please head over there. Look at the top, and there's one tab that says Learn More about our reports and our tests. That'll take you through everything that we offer, how to work with a physician. You'll find all the information you need there. And you can also work with Dr. J one-on-one. That's also available to you you'll see it on the website in the nav bar to get a one-on-one consult with her on your genetic report, which is pretty exciting. I've had them. They're very good. It's very good.
Thanks, GC. Yes,
All
and
right.
also it would be interesting if you could put in the comment section, say, I have a high metabolism or I have a low metabolism. That would be great. And if we could ask you to like and subscribe, that would really help us get the word out there.
See, I'm the marketing person and she's doing it and I forget all the time. Yay! Together we make a great team. How about that?
We do.
All right, everybody, we'll be back next week. Be well till then.